Hi, I'm Will Schweller, here to walk you through some of the highlight fine art lots in Clarke Auction's October 10th sale. Starting with this fantastic Dali lithograph titled Symphonie Bicyclette. We have a number of Dali prints in this month's auction, but this one sort of stands out. It's from 1970, fairly rare to market, and also I think a bit unique in terms of subject matter. And I think it's just a fantastic print. I really love the drama here of the harp player, and also the endless field of cyclists. Comes out of a private collection down in Long Island, and we're selling it with a $2,000 to $3,000 estimate. From a New York collection, we have an interesting contemporary work here by the New York-based artist Michelle Sakai. It's titled Seascape Diptych, so it's actually two canvases, we'll see the second here momentarily, that are silver leaf and oil on canvas. Sakai is of both Persian and Japanese ancestry, and both influence her painted work. And she's really known for her sort of use of metal leaves here, which I think really add a nice light to the painting. So like I said, this comes from a New York collection, and we're selling the two canvases as one lot with a $3,000 to $5,000 estimate. Hanging here, we have a great Miro lithograph from 1960 titled Series 1 Blue and Red, for its blue and red colors. I think it's a bit atypical of Miro's work, but I really like it. It's a really strong abstract composition. Comes out of a local collection. It's number 30 from an edition of 30, and we're selling it with a $1,000 to $1,500 estimate. Here quickly, we've got the second of the two canvases of the Sakai Diptych. Again, just note that fantastic use of silver leaf, not only adding texture, but also a real metallic resonance to the painting. Above it, we have a fantastic oil from 1931 by the American painter Max Arthur Cohn, who was a New York-based artist, worked in the WPA, and also studied under John Sloan. We'll take a look at another Cohn later in the sale that I think really shows Sloan's influence. This is a beach scene from France, Concarneau, and just really fantastic use of color. And there's umbrellas in the, I guess, cabanas. I really like his stripes there. This comes out of a New York collection. It's being sold with an $8,000 to $1,200 estimate, and is one of three Max Arthur Cohn paintings in this month's sale. To its left, we have perhaps more archetypical Miro lithograph. This from a Long Island collection. It's titled L'Impératrice. And we have, unlike in Series 1, blue and red, a lot more of those sort of typical Miro forms. Again, a really nice abstract print. This one, number 71 from an edition of 75. Like the other Miro, we're selling it with a $1,000 to $1,500 estimate. On the other side of the office, jumping back a few centuries, we have a nice 18th or 19th century copy after Titian. This is the girl with a bowl of fruit, or platter of fruit rather. This is a really competent copy. The fabric work is exquisitely well done, as well as the sort of flesh tones here in her cheeks. Comes out of a New York collection. It's a nice opportunity to own a copy after an old master, and it is being sold with a $1,000 to $1,500 estimate. Across the way, we have this large acrylic on canvas by American artist John Karsman. This piece is from 1976 and it's titled Golden Rays. Karsman is known for these large-scale, sort of realist landscapes, but I think they show a lot of influence of hard edge painting. The sort of stops between colors is rather abrupt, and it allows the artist to really highlight the varying effects of light here as we see sort of creeping through the trees. This comes out of a Long Island collection. It's being sold with a $1,500 to $2,500 estimate. And a fun detail, Samantha and Janine here in the gallery pointed out, perfect timing for October. Some of these forms here look like bats and ghosts. So I don't know if it's an intentional Halloween painting, but you do get an element of that if you look for it. But otherwise, it's a really charming landscape nonetheless. Above the doorway here, we have a work from the mid-1940s by another WPA painter. This time it's Albert Pells, who was born in Cincinnati but studied in New York under Thomas Hart Benton. This work's titled At the Seashore. It has a number of exhibition labels from the 40s on the back, so I encourage you to check out our catalog where we have those photographed. It's being sold with an $8,000 to $1,200 estimate, and really shows the artist's mastery in modeling and depicting the human form. I also really like the lighthouse sort of moodily back there in the lower right. Here behind glass, we have a nice work on paper by the prominent American painter Larry Rivers. I think Rivers really excels in works on paper, and this here is it's a party invite from the mid-1980s. So not only do you get just Just a fun drawing, bar scene, showcases Rivers' expertise in depicting figures in crowds, but it's also an interesting bit of artist's ephemera. It comes from a local collection, and we're selling it with a $500 to $700 estimate. Below it, we have a really charming work by Hunt Slonim. Always popular painter, Slonim is known for his really heavy use of oil, and his subject matters vary from birds, rabbits, or sort of golden age Hollywood legends. Here we have Rudy and Gloria, Rudy Valentino and Gloria Swanson, sort of in a lover's embrace. Comes from a White Plains collection, and we're selling it with a $1,500 to $2,500 estimate. Excuse me, a $2,000 to $3,000 estimate. To its left here behind this bronze, we have an interesting work from the 30s by a Swiss-born painter, Oscar Luthi. It's oil and collage on board that creates a sort of near cubist composition. You have some of the elements that are pretty typical of cubist painting. In this case, I think a violin or a cello, certain applications of text here, old Greek writing. But then you also have these fascinating butterflies and then more painterly bowls of fruit. It's a really nice piece, comes from a local collection, and this we're selling with a $1,500 to $2,500 estimate. To its left, we have both from Long Island collections, some interesting little old master paintings. The one on top here is a group portrait. I think if cleaned would brighten up a lot better, and some of these details down here would become a little bit more evident, as well as that background visible in the lower right. We're selling it with an $800 to $1,200 estimate. And also with an $800 to $1,200 estimate, we're selling this painting here of a saint, probably 17th or 18th century. I think just fantastic. I love the pink tones here in the clouds around these cherubs, as well as in this angel's garments. Really nice sort of Baroque little painting, again with an $800 to $1,200 estimate. And then above the door here, we're going to wrap up in the front gallery with the second of the 3 Max Arthur Cohn paintings. This a really great New York scene of Stuyvesant Park down on the east side. You get both the Empire State Building and sort of more lower kind of brownstones that sort of signify that area of New York. Really great moody winter scene of a subject matter Cohn's most known for, New York. It's being sold with an $800 to $1,200 estimate. The main gallery here really illustrates the breadth of this sale. We've got an interesting pastel by the British artist Mackenzie Thorpe and a few Harlow screen prints of Native Americans. We have a couple early abstracts by Clara Shanis, an American artist, as well as this great lithograph here by Dale Chihuly. Louis Icart prints, as well as some more examples of the Salvador Dali, and above that, nice Le Corbusier lithograph. Here's another work by Larry Rivers, this time a print, and then again another Dali lithograph. Like I said, we have a number of prints by modernist masters in the sale, including this Aspen Winter Jazz poster from 1967 by Roy Lichtenstein. Hanging here, we have a rather fascinating painting by an American artist, Peter Sari, who works in acrylic and plaster to create these large trompe-l'oeil paintings that sort of represent like Pompeian walls. I think really fascinating piece, very decorative. Here too, shellacs on paper by John Oakes from 1999. We've got this great abstract here signed Severin of game, some pheasant and grouse. And above it, a really nice Charles Levier still life of a watermelon. Here's another Malcolm Furlow of Custer and Crazy Horse. A nice early 20th century Dutch scene after Peter the Hawk. And above it, a Fritz Ohl landscape of Indonesia. Really great use of color there in the trees. We've got a couple nice 19th century French landscapes in the sale, including these work by Louis Latouche. We have 2 other Latouches, and then this, I think it's a really well painted landscape in the manner of Corot. As we move along here, we have a number of nice European port scenes. On the bottom, one by British painter James Webb. Up on top here, we have a fantastic portrait of Queen Victoria by Frederick Newenham. It's returned to sale due to non-payment. So for those of you who missed out on it a few months back, now's your chance. Here in the corner is the second Albert Pells. I think this particularly shows the influence of Thomas Hart Benton, sort of a historical scene, very indicative of the WPA. And then on top of it, if you can see, is the 3rd Max Arthur Cohn painting, a cafe scene that I think shows Cohn's tutelage under Sloane quite well. We've got here a nice painting by the Victorian painter H.T. Schaeffer, Henry Thomas Schaeffer. It's titled Melody. Above it, 2 American works by Gertrude Shibley, great early sort of abstract cubist influenced paintings. Really charming landscape by the French artist Jean Kevorkian in here, comes from a local collection. Nice fall painting for you. And then here from a collection over in Rye, we have this really charming American folk art painting. While there is a bit of crack allure, I think the dog and the children make for a really charming composition. You see the child here with his toy sword. Another pair of portraits that depict children quite well. With an attentive dog there sitting waiting for a treat. A lot of great dogs in the sale. Here we have a nice Papillon painting, slightly more contemporary, but for those dog lovers, a really nice piece, signed N. Jacobs. And above it, we have a painting of a spaniel from an English school painting there. Nice collection of old portraits in the sale. These are European school, possibly Danish, little oils on tin. And below it here we have 2 panel paintings by Latouche. A couple of nice European paintings, landscapes, sort of showing the range of 19th century painting, this a little more classical, this showing the influence of the Impressionists. And then we'll wrap here with a real stunner, a late 19th century, early 20th century, but probably 19th century continental school painting of a woman lying with her lapdog here. Just a truly fantastic painting, really well done. She's executed quite well. The dog is quite realistic, shows a lot of character. The fabric work is really fantastic, from this sort of floral motif here to the more simple whites, as well as her headdress is really exquisitely painted. So I wanted to finish here so you could get a sense of the scale of this painting, its majesty. But please do check out our catalog online. We have about 130 fine art lots this month and are already putting together our November 7th catalog. If you have any questions or we can be of any help, please contact us at the gallery. Thanks.